Why the narcissist always thinks that they are right and how to outsmart them. The narcissist reality and our reality are entirely different. As narcissists feel entitled to get all their needs met, when they don't get their own way, they can throw major tantrums until they do. They can intimidate us or they can invalidate us to put us in our place, to put us down. Then they all of a sudden seem happy again. When those around the narcissist feel down, the narcissist then feels better as they feel superior, which is why once they've provoked us and got a reaction from us, they seem okay. Like that special occasion everyone is looking forward to, a narcissist can and will go all out to put everyone else down. Then as soon as everyone else is feeling bad, they seem like nothing happened and we are the ones with the problem. Often saying things like, why do you have to ruin everything? Yet instead of us seeing it for what they've done as they twist all the blame through their manipulative gaslighting, blame shifting and projecting, which is a mixture of both of those, their behaviour onto us, we end up blaming ourselves and changing ourselves to suit them. So why do they do this? What it does to us? And at the end of the video, what can we do if we're not able to go no contact? I'll put a timestamp in the description on that if I remember. Narcissists believe that rules do not apply to them, that they can walk all over people's lives and boundaries without a care as to who they hurt, so long as their needs are getting met. Anything you say to them that goes against their thoughts, feelings, opinions or beliefs, they class as criticism. Cognitive Distortions explains more on why they can be so negative, so self-entitled, why they go around destroying others, as they also explain why when around manipulative people, when around narcissistic people, our minds can convince us of a reality that simply is not true. These thoughts are usually used to convince our minds of negative thoughts or emotions, explaining to ourselves that things sound accurate and rational, yet in reality only serve to keep us feeling bad and ourselves feeling upset or hurt, and to keep us trapped in those negative situations. And the worst thing about these kinds of excuses are within our minds, they are extremely valid. So how do cognitive distortions affect our thinking when around manipulative people? And how does this affect the narcissist? What can we do about it? Psychologists have identified at least 50 types of cognitive distortions. Here are 10 examples of how these could affect both the narcissists and our thinking. Number 1, always being right. Being right to a narcissist is more important than anything else. It's more important than other people's thoughts or feelings. That, with their lack of empathy, means for us going against what the narcissist's truth is can lead to devastating consequences for us. Sometimes when they are gaslighting us, they do it so well as to them it is their reality and it is their truth, and they shall not be swayed. To most narcissistic people, they didn't say that, and that never happens. To them, you are being the one who's sensitive and you are the one that's going crazy. In their eyes and their minds, it's their truth. Often why their smear campaigns have such massive impact, as they are done with such truth-telling lies. Yet because we are open to perception and opinions, we can understand that people make mistakes. Their gaslighting then makes us question ourselves, blame ourselves. As we care for them, we forgive them for their wrongdoings. Why, when we are walking on eggshells, doing as they please, they can treat us so well, they give us that intermittent reinforcement. So when things are going right, when they are treating us right, we live that reality. And then when they are treating us wrong, when they are hurtful towards us, negative towards us, putting us down, hideous behaviour, with their blame shifting, we start to internalise and begin to blame ourselves. As reality is showing us how well they can treat us, yet the reality is also showing us how wrong they can treat us. However, when we question them over something that we believe them to be in the wrong about, they think they are right. They will go to great extremes to prove themselves right and to prove us wrong, causing that cognitive dissonance within our mind over the mismatch of realities and beliefs that we are now living under the narcissist spell. As a narcissist is also most likely lacking in cognitive reflection skills, meaning once they've made their truth up, they cannot look back and reflect. They've made their minds up that they are correct and therefore all others that go against them will be wrong. Narcissistic people continuously try to prove others wrong with various manipulation tactics. To a narcissist who always believes they are right, being wrong is just unimaginable for them. They just cannot and do not get it. They will go to extreme lengths just to prove that they are right, why there is simply no point trying to explain yourself or arguing with a narcissist. They simply cannot and will not see your point of view. And any that do, for a moment, they want to watch you go crazy trying to prove it. 2, negative filtering. Negativity breeds negativity, and we as a person with empathy towards others, an open mind that can see other people's points of view with the help of their projection, which is a mixture of their blame shifting and gaslighting, we end up taking their behaviour, their negative thoughts on as our own, ending up blaming ourselves and in a state of utter confusion, often questioning if we are the narcissist. Their reality is distorted by only the facts that they want and the beliefs they hold true to themselves. So they will slowly manipulate those onto those around them. When we take everything personally and are around people that are so critical of us, it destroys who we are. So we either have to learn not to take their words and actions as personally and know our truths, our reality, who we are, accept that's how they want to think or feel. And remember, we don't have to feel that way and simply leave them to it. Some are extremely dangerous, so no contact is the only way to go. A narcissist will often take the one negative thing that you have done, filtering out anything that happened before or anything that they did to cause this, any baiting tactic that they used, and they will focus solely on the one negative thing that you did in a disagreement with them. They will then twist it onto that one single thing that you did by the blame shifting and gaslighting you with the whole false apology of if you hadn't, I wouldn't. And as they believe they are right, that is their truth. They honestly believe that if you hadn't, they wouldn't. And no matter how much you try to explain or defend yourself to them, they're not listening to your point of view. They have theirs, and to them, theirs is final. Black and white thinking. This is why most narcissists will project their failures and faults onto others, as they believe they are special, they believe they are above all others. They have that, even if they don't show it on the surface. Most of them have that grandiose attitude that they are better than others. They feel entitled. Any mistakes made or any achievements missed, they will place the blame onto someone else. They don't have the work ethics to believe they have to work hard for something. And those who do will have missed a few steps and exploited a few people along their way. Being around someone like this on a continued basis leaves us always feeling like we are at fault for any problems within our own lives and within their lives, as all their projection is slowly drip-fed into our minds. So why we are somewhat too forgiving, as we can see what we believe to be the good in them, and then with their blame shifting, when the bad comes out, we are led to believe this is all our fault. It is never your fault. A narcissist has no grey area. To them, it's either good or bad. There is no room for mistakes or errors in judgment. To them, it's all or nothing. They can only see things as good or bad. As they themselves must be perfect, they place all the blame onto others for situations or problems they might have caused. Without that cognitive reflection, they cannot look back to see what might have led up to a bad situation, and with the lack of empathy, they cannot see how someone else might be feeling because of errors or mistakes they have made. Most have that cognitive understanding of empathy, so they can think how we feel, and they use that cognitive empathy to guilt trip, to put fear in us, to put obligation into us, and get us doing what the narcissist wants through emotional blackmail. Yet they can simply not put themselves into someone else's shoes to feel or care how they are making someone else feel. 4, jumping to conclusions. So where your instincts might be trying to tell you that something's wrong, instead of jumping to a conclusion, although you might in your mind, but you haven't fully jumped to it, otherwise you just go, they're doing that, and that's that. And that'd be it. Whereas we end up going and asking them about it. So instead of fully jumping to a conclusion, we go and discuss it with them. And our instincts are most likely correct. However, they will not validate our feelings as real as they are, as the narcissist has made their minds up that, in fact, to the narcissist, we are the ones being insecure. We're the ones being jealous. We are wrong, to distract us from the truth, when actually it's their behaviour that they're hiding from us, making us feel this way. Yet as we've not made that conclusion, not got the evidence, hoping, and even sometimes when we do have the evidence, we'll believe their twisted lies, as we're hoping that they are faithful, as they faked a future with us and falsely promised with their added false apology that they wouldn't do it again, we are most often left questioning ourselves as to whether we are the ones that are insecure, sensitive. If we are the ones that are pushing them away, when in fact a good person, a kind person, someone who cares about you, would listen to you and work it out together. Always trust your instincts, even when you're unsure as to what they are telling you, as most often they are right. A narcissist might even say things like, I'm a great judge of character. They believe they know exactly what others are thinking or feeling, and they are not interested in finding out otherwise. Also, why they gaslight with you're too sensitive, as they believe that we are too sensitive, and as they've made their minds up, they are unable and unwilling to listen to our explanations, as they are only interested in their own. 5, catastrophizing. This is usually what happens to us once we've been around a narcissistic, toxic or negative person for a long time, as they drip feed our minds and our subconscious sucks it all in. We are then on constant watch from one thing to the next to see where their next negative mood swings going to come in, waiting for their next smear campaign, for the next game they will play to bring us down to their level. We can both magnify their good behaviour, and with the help of their toxic words, we can minimise their bad behaviour. Often, as we've been led to believe it was our fault, leaving us on edge and walking on eggshells around them to meet all their needs so that we don't set them off, leaving us with anxiety as we are so concerned about how they will act, and become less and less concerned about what we do we fawn into trying to save ourselves by pleasing them, as we want to help them, yet we don't realise it is slowly destroying ourselves. When in reality we did not cause it, we cannot change it and we cannot control it. They are who they are. They have a disorder, and no matter what action we take, they have a disorder. And it is who they are, which in reality means no matter what we do or don't do for them, they are a ticking alarm clock waiting to go off that will go off as and when they please. If they feel wronged, if they feel criticism, there is absolutely nothing we can do to change this for them. That is who they are. It's how they want to think. It's how they want to behave. Nothing you say or do will change this. The best course of action is to leave them to it, especially those on the lower end of their spectrum. Leave them to be who they want to be, and you be who you want to be. Those on the higher end can be dangerous. Those on the lower end can be dangerous too. Those that can be dangerous, no contact. The narcissist catastrophizes by minimizing or denying their negative behavior, distracting us from what it is and magnifying anything that goes well, anything they do well, to get us to focus on the good side. They minimize anything good that we do, and they magnify anything that they perceive as what we do bad or what we do wrong. And once they've made their minds up, that is their truth, and nothing you say will shift this. 6. Control. If we feel controlled by outside events, especially when mass smear campaigns hit, we see ourselves, quite rightfully at the time, as the victim and the why is this happening to me, or why are they doing this to me? And once we take back control of our lives, those outside situations no longer impact us. Without our own internal control, we take on the responsibility of their happiness and the happiness of those around us. In reality, we are responsible for how we feel only. With good intentions, there's no wrong way or right way to live your life, making others responsible for how they feel. Yet as they gaslight, as they intimidate, as they invalidate us, we slowly lose control of our minds and our lives, not knowing what's truly happening to us, and trying our best to please others, not understanding that as nice as it is to help others, and helping others often makes ourselves feel better, it's all about helping those who are willing and able to help us, and walk away from those who are not. Walk away from those who are only willing to bring us down. Also, that it's okay to be selfish and put our own needs first. Again, with good intentions, there's no wrong way or right way to live your life, only your way. I know I use this example a lot in the videos, but it is that oxygen mask on the plane. Yes, it seems selfish putting it on yourself first. If you put it on the wrong person first, they will snatch yours off you and they will up and leave you without anything. Put it on the right person level first, your oxygen levels, they might run a bit low, but they would turn back around and they would help you put yours on. Put it on yourself first and you will be up and running at your best to help others, even those who don't appreciate it or deserve it. Boundaries are a must, knowing when to say yes, when to say no. If by saying yes to someone else means you're saying no to yourself, it needs to be a no to that other person. Compromise, yes. If it's all their way, you have every right to turn around and go your way without them. As you most likely already know, a narcissist is all about control. They want and need to be in control. They feel entitled to have control of those around them and all life events. When they are getting what they want, they usually seem quite happy people. They are quite arrogant. Yet when they're not getting what they want, they will blame others. Life to them is, they will then go into the woe is me, that life is against them, not because they are a victim, but because they've twisted the story to make out that they're the victim. And if it wasn't for somebody else, they would be achieving the success or getting the things that they believe they deserve. 7. The blame game. With all their manipulative blame-shifting tactics, we go the other way and start to blame ourselves for everything that's wrong within their life and within our own. When in reality, not everything is our responsibility or our fault. With their triangulation and their silent treatments, we start to look at ourselves to see what we're doing wrong and how we could be better for them. This is good news, as it means you have the ability to reflect and look past mistakes, learn from them, grow from them, and change from them. The biggest lesson here is to learn who we are, to learn behaviour we will and will not accept from those around us, learn our own worth, learning to let go of those who only seek to steal our joy, and no longer looking to blame ourselves for everything, no longer taking responsibility for what mistakes others have made. Just only the mistake. We're all human. We all make mistakes. There's nothing wrong with taking responsibility for our own mistakes, but we have to pass those we did not make back to the rightful owner. Self-awareness is vital. Those on the disorder blame all others for anything that is wrong within their life, meaning they are unable or unaware of what actions they've taken towards others, the mistakes they have made, so they cannot make the changes as to who they are, as they simply do not see themselves as the problem. Change. With us, we are slowly manipulated into their negative ways of thinking. It infects our minds with their gaslighting, projection, blame shifting, arguments, silent treatments, triangulation, baiting, and the rest. We are led to believe it's us that needs to change. Our minds are led to believe this is true, as they often offer that intermittent time when they offer the reinforcement and they play nice and magnify something they did to deserve to explain away their bad behaviour, or they'll magnify something we did to explain why they weren't treating us right. So we're the ones left changing who we are time and time again to attract their nice side, and we're the ones that end up walking on eggshells. We're the ones that fawn to their toxic behaviour to avoid their nasty side. In truth, they have a disorder. It is who they are. We did not cause it. There's nothing we can do to change it, and there's nothing we can do to control it. There's nothing they can do to control it. There is the odd one that claims to have narcissist personality disorder, and they have said they have found ways to manage the disorder, but they will say they do not change. It's who they are. Don't have the expectation just because one or two can control it, they have changed, because they say themselves that they have not. A narcissist does not see. Often they don't see why they need change. They would need a severe life event to see any reason to seek help. As they have a disorder, it's who they are. Most often they do not see their own faults. They can only pass them on to others, and therefore see all their own problems as being caused by those around them, they believe that others need to change to suit them. Again, with their gaslighting of if you hadn't, I wouldn't. And most genuinely believe that if you hadn't, they wouldn't. However, most often you haven't actually done anything wrong. They will find something, anything you did, and they will magnify it to put the blame at your door. They will provoke you to get a reaction out of you so that they can blame it all on you. 9, personalisation. With someone on the narcissistic personality disorder spectrum, they feel entitled. So to them, it's all about them. In one way, they have got something right here, as we should make sure that we are good within ourselves. There is a difference between a narcissist all about me and self-care. They are in it to win it at all costs. They are most often not interested in what happens to those around them, as long as their needs are being met. If they believe being nice to someone will meet their needs, they will be nice. If they think being nasty will meet their needs, they will be nasty. In reality, it's about giving to ourselves and then giving to others. If you have £10 and you need to buy food for your children, yet your friends are really struggling, you don't provide them with £10, while you and your children go hungry, people need to look after themselves. Yeah, if you have money coming in the next day, or if you can split it and give them 5, or if you have plenty of food and you can invite them round for dinner, or if you can give them some of your food, provide them with food, provide them with cash. If you're not going, if you're not going without, if you're not going to starve your own children, if you can help them out until they're on their feet again, then you would. And they would help you out in times of need, which is great. But if you were to help them out and they would leave you to struggle in times of your need, even when they could help you out, they are not the people for you. And a narcissist works just like this. A narcissist wants you to give them everything, and they want you to learn to expect nothing. And the reason they want you to learn, the reason you're getting nothing is your fault. As quite often they believe people are an extension of themselves, they believe what others do or say is a direct reaction to them. They take everything personally. If someone achieves, it's down to them. If someone speaks against them, they have criticised them. If they are late, they will blame any external source and never themselves. As to them personally, it's always someone else's fault. As they are fast to shift the blame, those around them are often left blaming themselves for everything that's wrong in the narcissist's life that they didn't even cause. 10. Should. When we think they should behave in a certain way towards us or our children, or when we believe we should behave in a certain way, or we should try harder, we should try to do this, we should be able to support them, we should be able to explain and defend ourselves to them, we should be able to make it work, we should be able to communicate with those people, and those not on a disorder, we can communicate with them. But with a narcissist, we have to communicate on a level that they understand. Working with those on the disorder, we cannot communicate on the way we communicate with people, as their feelings, thoughts, opinions, their minds have been made up, and anything you say or do will not change this. They'll only take it down as evidence and use it against you. If you ever try and work it out with them, they believe something to be what they want it to be, and you can't communicate with that because they're not interested in your point of view. Some are dangerous, so you really have to leave them be. Others, you can teach the behaviour you will and will not accept from them by knowing who you are, being nice when they are nice to you, and leaving them be, giving them no attention whatsoever when they are mistreating you. Yes, it's a bit like the silent treatment, but the silent treatment is them using it to punish you to get their needs met. You not giving them any attention is because they've treated you badly, and it's to teach them that you're no longer willing to accept that behaviour. Now, when they give the silent treatment, you might not have even done anything wrong. They just fall silent because they feel like it. Again, doing things like this depends on the severity of the narcissist. When we are full of what we should be able to do, when we are full of those shoulds and those shoulds don't happen, it leaves us feeling disappointed. It leaves us feeling let down. It leaves us feeling hurt, anger and resentment. So we have to keep our own standards as high as we want them to be. They're our standards for us, and our expectations of others extremely low, so that we're not the ones that feel offended. A narcissist might think in a moment that they should change, yet this is only in a moment. When they are not getting something they want, where they make a false promise of, I'll go to counselling, or they'll bring you gifts, it's only temporary to meet a need of their own. They might feel that shame, so they quickly shift this shame by changing their minds from black to white. Once they have what they want, they will change their should to you should. you should have treated them better. You should be kinder. You shouldn't have made them apologise. Then their own mindset becomes that they shouldn't have to do and you should. As it's never a must, it's only ever a temporary change. And when they do play nice, it's only ever temporary. When they start directing those should statements towards others, they will then feel anger and resentment towards that other person for making them do something they don't want to do, which is why their rage often appears, their smear campaigns and all the other destructive, hurtful things they do to themselves and to others. In life, when we make something a must, we are more likely to do it. How to outsmart them? 1. Remember, your safety comes first. It is a disorder. They don't change, they have a disorder. Some you have to go no contact with. Others, remember, the best response is no response. Nevertheless, this isn't always possible. Next would be to retreat, rethink, and only respond if there is a need to do so, like childcare arrangements, not for argument's sake or trying to compromise. They don't want to compromise. Educate yourself on the disorder. Stay grounded. When they're coming at you, recognise what part of the disorder is showing in them. Are they acting superior, entitled, envious, being arrogant, wanting attention, lacking empathy, wanting control? They always wish to be in control. Recognise the part of the disorder they are dealing with at that moment in time. That is on them and their disorder, not you. It did not start with you. It will not end with you. You cannot change it. They cannot change it. You cannot control it. Some of them could control it if they were self-aware enough to do so, with lots of therapy and something to keep them accountable. But please remember, even those that do, they are only doing that for themselves, not for you. You cannot change them. It's who they are. They have a disorder. They are the whole package. It is who they are. Then recognise the game that they are playing to get their own way. Are they triangulating? The silent treatment, gaslighting, projection, blame shifting, baiting, invalidation, intimidating, emotional blackmail, trying to isolate you. Whatever the game it is, see that game is on them because of one of the characteristics just mentioned above is showing in them. So if they're acting entitled, they might be using emotional blackmail to get their needs met. See the characteristic above, see the game that they're playing in accordance with that characteristic of the disorder, and see what they are trying to do. What are they trying to achieve? What are they wanting? Do not give them the attention. Observing their behaviour, not absorbing, like that toxic cleaning solution. If we leave it be, if we use it for its rightful purpose, it will not harm us. If we drink it, if we absorb it, it will slowly take over our bodies and it will slowly shut us down. Observe the narcissist for who they are. Don't absorb their toxic, hurtful words or behaviour. Leave them to be who they are. This way, it's far easier to know your own reality and not allow them to intoxicate you with their negative behaviour. Know your worth, know your truth and your reality, so they have less impact on your emotions. It is a learning curve, especially when you've been around them from a long time or you've been raised by one. It's a learning curve. Limited contact helps with this, as it helps to live the brain fog, which is that fear, obligation and guilt that they use to control us. So limited contact always helps. Some disarming phrases are when they mock, insult, start name calling, ridicule or put you down. That says more about who you are than it does me. If they ask you to explain or tell you that you're stupid or that's dumb, respond with, people don't put down those they care for. They build them up, they raise them up and try to help them. They validate each other, they wish them well. Or to prevent the possible comeback, that's your opinion of me, or I'm not responsible for how you wish to see me. When they try to use one of your weaknesses or insecurities against you, remember their game and respond with, you can either leave me be for who I am or accept me for who I am. Yes, the narcissist can say things like these, and yes, it's true, we can either accept someone for who they are or we can walk the other way and leave them for who they are. When they are trying to twist the story, just add, it's not that easy to leave a narcissist when you're trauma bonding. It is hard work. I've lived through that myself. It's not that easy, but we have to learn to walk away from those that are harmful and negative towards us. When they are trying to twist the story, when they are playing the victim, when they are trying to put us down, when they are trying to blame us, when they are trying to guilt trip us, when they are using that emotional blackmail, when they are bringing up things of the past, we need to say things like, we remember things differently, or I'm sorry that you feel that way. Yes, again, narcissists use this. They use it to invalidate our feelings. We use it to protect our boundaries. The only way to communicate with some people is with the level of communication that only they understand. When they accuse you of feelings you don't have, how you think of me is not my responsibility. When they are putting you down, how you think of me is not my responsibility. When they accuse you of feelings you have because they've done something to cause those feelings, recognize the game. What are they trying to hide? They're not going to validate how they've made you feel, as that would mean admitting the truth. So we have to validate our own feelings. So we have to, if they've done something and we ask them and they're telling us that we're feeling jealous, question what are those feelings telling you, and what are their words telling you? You're feeling something in that moment, then they're telling you something. Connect the two together. What is that telling you? They want to distract you by making your feelings the problem. Your feelings aren't the problem. Their game is the problem. Your feelings are trying to warn you of something that's happening in that situation. So listen to those instincts, listen to those feelings, learn from those feelings. Don't look to the narcissist to validate you, because they will just lie to you, distract you from the truth. Thank you very much for listening. If you've listened all the way to the end, if you are new to the channel and you find the information helpful, then please do subscribe. If you're a returning If you're a returning subscriber, thank you very much. Please add anything in the comments that you'd like more information on. I know somebody wants some information on invalidation. That'll be in the next couple of weeks. There was another one, shadow work, that will be in the next couple of weeks. I will put those on. I'll link in the description the online courses that I have available for more help. I shall link a video on some examples of how narcissistic people manipulate us, and the video of what actually happens to us in a narcissistic relationship. I am full for one-to-one coaching at the moment, so I'll add the link to BetterHelp, who I've partnered with, if you do need that extra support. Do write out something today that you really enjoy doing, something that you've really enjoyed doing in your past, something that you'd really like to do in your future. And start looking at ways to either get yourself back into that, or pathways into a career to do with that. Something to lift your spirits up if you're in that early stage and you're looking for ways to get them out of your mind and start focusing on your future. That's one way to do it, is to start looking at things from your past that you've really enjoyed doing for you. And if you try it, if you find it hard work, don't give up straight away. Things take time, things take practice. If you don't enjoy it, you can try something else. But it's just an idea to try and help move yourself into the path of your future and away from your past. Thank you very much for listening. Bye.